Record progress.
We're lookalikes. We don't look like each other, but I mean, I know what you're thinking. People hire us to impersonate the president and the first lady. We work out of an agency. That's where we met. They sure look like them. Thanks. Well, we worked very hard at it. I mean, she got her hair cut to look. It's a perfect match. We just played the Saperstein wedding. They loved us. We did our Club Med routine where the first lady and the president they go down to Club Med. And there's Bill Mitchell. He's like at 0700, I want an hour of volleyball. And then at 0830, I want a complete briefing on the whole surf situation. And then the big finale at the talent club. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. I'm okay. There'll be sun. Just thinking about.
That'll do a thing, but you'll be escorted to.
Took me through it.
Oh, good.
Do you do this often, sir?
Well, this is actually only our second state dinner. The first one was for the Emperor of Japan, who died shortly after, so we stopped having them for a while just in case.
I meant, do you go out on, do you often?
Do I date a lot?
Yeah.
No, how about you?
Me? Well, lately I seem to be going out on a lot of first dates.
Well, then you're experienced at this.
Oh, yeah, you can ask me anything.
Well, how are we doing so far?
It's hard to say at this point. So far, it's just your typical first date stuff.
Damn, and I want to be different from the other guys.
Sweetie, am I different from the other guys?
Sure are.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, everybody. My name's Todd Adam.
And this is Kathy.
I'm with Zen Pop Parenting. This is, Sweetie likes me to do the claps.
I like the claps.
I don't know which podcast this is, but I'll figure it out. What are you laughing at?
Because you say that a lot. You're like, I don't know what number it is.
Yeah.
So it's not helpful in the big picture.
No.
But you know what is?
What's that, babe?
Where Gen X pop culture meets real life reflection. That's what's valuable. And that's what this podcast is about.
And what are we naming this podcast?
Well, I just sent it to you. I think it's Wishful Thinking of Gen X Politics, the American President, and Dave.
Wishful Politics of Gen X.
Oh, yeah.
The American President and Dave. So we're going to talk about both these movies and then what we wish we had in politics.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I think, we had, our generation had some idealism, right? And this is not a political podcast per se, so I'm not going to dig into everything about the history of our politics.
Even though it's tempting.
It is. But it's more, we want to focus on these movies because we love The American President and Dave. But we also want to talk about how this was our idealism. Like, it's so funny to rewatch Dave because it's like, did we even think we were close to this?
Right.
Or The American President for that matter? And of course, the obvious thing that's missing from this podcast on purpose is The West Wing, because Todd and I are like, there's so many seasons.
Yeah. Where do you go with The West Wing?
Right. So we understand there's a complete overlap with The West Wing, or The West Wing came after these two movies, but that's part of it too. But we're just going to focus on these two shows and get a better understanding of where Gen X got their idealism.
And have some fun, because I need some fun. Just a quick aside, before I ask you to kind of talk a little bit about Team Zen and your book and everything. There's so many podcasts out there. So many podcasts.
I know.
And this is going to sound, I don't know, it probably isn't going to land well with some people, but I listened to our boy band one last week.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
I know,
and it was so long. It was like almost 2 hours.
I know.
But I could either consume a bunch of news that I didn't feel like consuming last week because I had a heavier emotional week, or I could just listen to us laugh.
Well, I think about it this way. Part of the reason we changed this podcast from Zen Parenting Radio, which is what we did for 15 years, to this, is you can tell when people have kind of run, like they're done. They're like just kind of rehashing the exact same stuff. And Todd and I are like, well, what do we really want to talk about right now? What is fun to us? What's interesting? And where will we come alive, right? Because that's what we preach. I'm very big on practicing what you preach. So we're like, let's talk about what we love. And then that shines through, right? Because the fact that we did a podcast about boy bands is thrilling to me.
Yeah.
The fact that we did one about hair bands is thrilling.
Yeah.
That we talked about grunge music, thrilling. These movies that we're about to talk about today, you and I love these movies. So this is fun. So on that note, if you do not already subscribe to my Substack, scroll below. It's there. Zen Parenting Moment is free. It comes to your email. I think it's very still in the vibe of Zen Parenting Radio, where I'm talking about really deep things and trying to support everybody, and myself included. And then also I have a book called Restoring Our Girls that is, it came out last year. It's all about supporting our girls and all about understanding the dynamics of being a young woman and woman in society. So it's not just for women. It's for every member of the family. And with that, let's set the scene.
What about Team Zen?
Oh, yeah. So Team Zen, you might have gotten an email from us because Team Zen has become these three things. An old school Zen Parenting Radio podcast that you can show up live and ask questions, or you can just wait till it shows up in your podcast app. If you're on Team Zen, it will show up in your podcast app. Number two, my paid version of Substack called Pebbling, which is $50 a year, will be free to you if you're on Team Zen. And then last, my women's circle that I've been doing for years and years and years. We've been having really, the meetings are always good, but there's a lot of women in transition right now with empty nests, kids going to college, kids going to high school, whatever it may be. And we support each other, and it can be just something that you come and listen, or you can come and ask questions. So, plus access to everything we've done before. So Team Zen is also having a resurgence, which is lovely. And so join us.
Two quick personal plugs. Men Living, if there's any guys out there that want connection and support, virtual or in person, we do weekends, we do in-person meetings. Go to menliving.org. Or if you want one-on-one coaching, toddadamscoaching.com, coaching for guys.
All right, let's go.
Here we go. All right. So we watched Dave about a week ago.
Uh-huh.
We have not rewatched American President in a bit.
You have not.
Did you watch it recently?
Well, I have watched it probably twice. I watched it when I had the flu, and I watched it at our last conference. I had it playing, and then I've been watching clips for, to get ready for this show. So I feel pretty connected to it. But when's the last time you watched it?
American President, I don't know, probably over a year ago, but I've seen it so many times. I do feel kind of prepared for this. So, but just as a reminder, Dave, Kevin Kline is Dave. Sigourney Weaver plays the First Lady. Frank Langella, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Langella.
He plays a creepy, power-hungry guy from behind the scenes.
Who's the chief of staff?
Ving Rhames, the guy from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
It's weird to see him as a normal person because I just think of him as Marcellus.
Yes, and he is the bodyguard.
Charles Grodin, who I love, rest in peace.
Being Charles Grodin.
Is Charles Grodin do anything other than Charles Grodin?
Oh, he does Charles
He's
Grodin.
kind of like Ben Stiller as an actor.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller is a wonderful creator of shows, Severance, but I feel like Ben Stiller plays the same guy. Laura Linney is in Dave.
Yeah, very briefly.
So yeah, that's kind of the headline on Dave, and the headline on the American President. We got Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, Martin Sheen, who ends up playing the president in the
Later.
West Wing.
How interesting.
Your buddy, John Mahoney.
Love him.
Why do I think he's your buddy?
Because I met him and talked to him one time at a bar.
And one of my favorite people in the whole world, Michael J. Fox, plays Lewis. Hello, Lewis.
Hello, Lewis.
And those are kind of the big people. So Richard Dreyfuss, don't forget about him.
Oh, yes, he's the bad guy in American President. So Dave came out in 1993, May 7th, 1993. The American President came out November 17th, 1995. So Dave was first. Then the American President West Wing, I'm just throwing this out there because it really is integrated. It came out in 1999. So it went Dave, American President, West Wing. So.
Anything you want to say more about setting the scene?
Yeah, I mean, just a few things about political backdrop because it is a little earlier. So Dave, 1993, Bill Clinton had just been elected after 12 years of Republican presidents. So there was kind of a shift. Okay. The Cold War was over. We were kind of optimistic about things. We were kind of done with being so cynical. We had just gotten through the Iran-Contra scandals. We wanted more decency. The irony, right? This is why it's so interesting to look back because we were wanting more decency. What we had, and the thing is, I mean, there was just so much to come. The American President, 1995. So at that point, Clinton was halfway through his presidency. And then he was dealing with the Republican dominance in Congress. Remember the whole contract with America thing. the Washington was becoming really partisan and really bitter. That was the Newt Gingrich era. So government shutdowns were happening. Like that was when I think, to me, that's when things started to get really different. Okay. And again, I was young at the time, so I don't really know how things were in the 60s or whatever. But in my lifetime, I felt like, whoa, we're getting into a really, there's some words being thrown around and people are not being kind to each other. And but the interesting thing was the economy was booming and the people felt it was a prosperous time for many, not for all, but for many. So it was interesting.
I did a little research on 1993. First of all, sweetie, where were you in your life in 1993?
I had just graduated from college, so I was living in Chicago.
You just finished being a Drake bulldog.
I did. You are never finished.
That's right. Once
being
a
Drake
bulldog, always a bulldog.
Yes, I still follow their mascot, Griff. Griff 2. He's the second Griff. It's a bulldog. The first Griff, he died. So now we have Griff 2.
One quick aside, our daughter just went to visit Drake and we were there as a potential college selection, and Kathy and I
That's
were
called
there.
a college visit.
Yeah. Some call it a potential, some people call it a college visit. And we went to the main classroom that everybody takes, like math
In
101
Meredith.
or whatever.
Meredith Hall, yeah.
And it was so strange being back in the classroom
I know.
30 years later.
I know.
And it was a lot smaller than I remember. I thought it was a much bigger classroom, and it wasn't.
No, it's a very small school you and I went to.
Yes.
It felt like a big world
And it
in a
wasn't.
very small
Because
school.
we've seen some of the big classes at Madison and Iowa and
Yeah.
all those.
We've been exposed now.
Yeah, we've seen the lecture halls, and then we saw Drake's lecture hall. A little bit different. Other
Remember when you were in Meredith? They'd be like, there's so many people in my
Yeah,
class.
right.
It's nothing.
a few other things. I did a little research in 1993.
Okay.
So just to bring people back into a time machine. That's when the Waco siege happened.
Yes.
And you've seen some documentaries
I
on
sure
that.
have.
Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
military. See, these were the paradoxical parts of Clinton's presidency, right?
Yeah.
You know, lots of new things that were good and then some things that were not so good.
Michael Jordan shocked the world by retiring from the NBA after his father's murder.
Yes, I remember.
And then finally, this was top of the charts.
Sweet Whitney.
Love you.
I've never seen My Bodyguard.
It's not called My Bodyguard. It's The Bodyguard.
Oh,
My Bodyguard is the movie with Chris Makepeace.
I thought it's Chris Makerpiece.
Makerpiece. He Makerpiece.
He was in Meatball. He's in Meatballs, and he was in the My
My
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
That's
Yeah.
great. We should do a show on bullies.
We already did.
We did?
We did Johnny from
I know, but that was just about Johnny. Remember,
It wasn't about Johnny. It was about bullies. We
did-
did the whole thing about
we
bullies.
talked about Matt Dillon,
In The Outsiders.
but not about My Bodyguard.
So you want to do but if we were going to do the quintessential bullies from our generation, we totally missed that opportunity
Yeah.
when we did Johnny.
You're probably right.
But yes,
Smoke up, Johnny.
Smoke up Johnny.
Okay, are we ready for the next one? Set
No,
the stage. Oh, okay.
No,
Set
not-
the stage.
yeah. So just a few more things. This was do you know what a Capra-esque movie is?
Sweetie, don't be making up words.
Okay. Well, it refers to Frank Capra, who was a director, and he made Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Oh.
You know, that was in 1939, and It's a Wonderful Life,
Okay.
both with our buddy Jimmy Stewart, right?
Yep.
And the whole idea of a Capra-esque film is that it was optimistic about humanity. There was like a small town hero. It was corruption versus decency. Like, which side are you going to take? A lot of humor, and then a lot of faith in democracy. You know, remember those days?
The good old days.
And so the thing about, you know, both of these movies kind of had The American President and Dave had a Capra-esque quality. Now, Dave's was more like good, what's the word? It's more folksy and more like, it's a comedy, and The American President was supposed to be somewhat serious,
Yep.
but the end result was the same, which is faith and in community and in people and good versus bad and all those kind of things. So, just to kind of set the stage before we move to Remember When, The American President, for those of you who haven't watched it in a long time, is about a guy named Andrew Shepard. He's widowed and he's in the White House, and it's all about how he's trying to navigate his love life with politics. He starts dating Annette Bening, who's a lobbyist, which is interesting in itself because that's definitely going to be a conflict of interest.
Right.
But, you know, these are the nitpicks, right? So it's a romantic dramedy, pretty much. I don't think we had that word back then, but it's got some humor and it's a romantic, you know, movie and everything. You know, the message is about even in this system, this corrupt system, decency and integrity and love is what everything is all about. And Dave, he came from outside the system. So Andrew Shepard was inside the system. Dave is outside the system. And it was about, again, optimistic belief that everyday humanity can transform politics. And maybe, you know, I'm an eternal optimist, so I like that idea.
Yeah.
But it suggests that decency is universal, that the majority of people are decent, and that, you know, I don't know, that, you know, somebody could actually come in off the street and be like, if we just care about people, everything's going to fall into place.
Yeah.
Which
kind of utopia or.
Yeah. And to your point about its connection to the West Wing, you know, Dave is, it's the Idealism, but the American President is written by Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
So it's a direct, it's like the DNA of the West Wing.
Sure.
It had Martin Sheen, you know, et cetera. It had that was the
Oh, and there's so many actors that were in both.
Right. You're right.
The West Wing, and I think the American President, but maybe some actors from Dave also got in the West Wing. I'm not sure.
Gosh, I don't know. But just so before we move on, Dave, what if an ordinary guy ran the White House with his heart? And American President is, what if the president himself was both noble and romantic and knew how to balance love and leadership? So this is what these movies are about. I remember when you couldn't.
Do you have any memories of either of these movies when you watched them originally? I think I saw mine probably on TNT. I definitely didn't see them in the theater.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't see him in the theater
These were
either.
on VHS.
And you know why, Todd? Because like we were in college.
Yeah,
you know
we
what I mean?
watching a lot of movies.
No, we weren't going to the theater that
No,
much.
Right.
In 1995, I was just poor.
Yeah.
That was when I was living in Chicago making no money. So I'm sure I wasn't going to the theater that much. But
I remember your VCR, sweetie.
do you remember
in
the
your
button?
apartment.
That was Jessica.
It was the biggest play button I've ever seen. It was like 4 inches squared, and it just was the most gigantic play button on a VCR I've ever seen.
Well, two things I will tell you about that. Jess bought that with her own money when she was living at home.
Which
So
is
she
probably
bought that for her family.
Probably like $150.
Yeah, it was because it's huge, you guys.
Yeah.
You remember when you would open from the top
Yeah.
and you'd slide it
Yeah.
in, and then the button was so big and it had like a plug-in remote control.
Yeah.
And second, she wanted me to tell you she still has it.
Does she really?
She does. It's in a box.
Oh
if you ever
my
want to see it.
She could probably sell that.
I know.
It's a collector's item.
It is, but she was like, I'm like, Todd loved that thing. She's like, tell him I still got it.
I have this under miscellaneous sounds. It's called VHS eject tape.
Okay, let's hear
see
it.
what happens. Gotta hear that one again.
Yeah. That's a good sound effect for this show.
There's a few of them. How about this one?
That's the sound I know.
Oh my God. Oh, please be kind, rewind. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. It was
Because they charge you like another $1 or something.
turn it in. They'd be like, you didn't rewind. Todd,
Oh
my God.
Think about if you're a kid right now, just explaining, please be kind, rewind.
Okay, I have a story that is so ridiculous. So when I lived in Chicago, 1993, lived in Belmont Broadway, down the street, there was a movie store. So, you know, obviously there was Blockbuster and everything, but everyone had like a little family video, little movie store. So we would go there and get our movies. And, you know, when you like would rent from Blockbuster or whatever, you'd get, you know, notifications somehow. I don't know if they'd send us letters. I don't remember. But we would know something was overdue. Well, at this place, they didn't tell us. So we're like, man, they're so nice. They just let us keep these movies as long as we want them. So we wouldn't return them. And finally, at some point, we started maybe returning them in haphazardly or whatever. And then one time we went in and he's like, you owe us like $100.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Like a
what?
$25 tape.
We thought the whole time they liked us.
Oh my God, they're so friendly. I
Like,
love this place.
That we have these movies.
I loved walking through the movie store.
Oh,
It
what are
was
your
so
favorite
fun.
memories?
And and then at some of those movie stores, they had the curtain
Yes. Did you go behind that curtain, Todd?
No, I was always too scared. I wanted to.
You wanted to.
Of course.
Did you ever see people you knew behind the curtain?
I don't think so.
And for those of you who don't know what we mean behind the curtain is there was a section of pornography
Yeah.
or X movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if everything was sexual.
And then they cleaned it up with Blockbuster.
What do you mean they cleaned it up?
Blockbuster didn't have the curtain.
Oh, really? So what did they do with their X movies? They just didn't have them.
They didn't have them. That wasn't the market they were chasing after.
Yes. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like, it's really weird that there used to be theaters that played XXX movies. Like, what do you do when you're buying your ticket and like there's people behind you and in front of you and you're like, yeah, we're going to go see this movie, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're all going to go watch this.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't even know what a peep show is. What's a peep show?
I think well, actually, I know you remember that book I read, All Fours by Miranda
Yeah.
July? She used to work in a peep show.
Yeah.
And basically you're just like in a box and people can pay to watch you.
What was that Madonna video?
Open your heart to me.
Open your heart. And isn't it like a little guy looking at
It's
her?
a little boy, yeah.
What's going on there, Madonna?
Well, she was always pushing the boundaries as we all know about our friend Madonna.
All right. You know what I'm going to invite us to do, sweetie?
What?
Can you take a guess?
Talk about Madonna.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
All right, back. Okay. So remember when? For me, what I think about is the idealism that I was like, man, I wish things could be like Dave. And that I in that year, so 1993 was the first time I voted, or whenever it was 1992,
Yeah.
right? Was the first time I voted. And Clinton had come to Iowa, as you said. We went to school in Iowa, and it was kind of a huge deal. And if you remember, it wasn't just Clinton Bush, it was Clinton Perot Bush.
Oh, Ross.
So if Ross Perot hadn't been in the middle there, that may not have gone
No, Clinton wouldn't have won.
toward Clinton. And it was kind of it's a big deal. It was a lot of hope and a lot of, changes, especially as a feminist. There was a lot of things that, his wife was really, you guys know his wife. She was really involved in his politics when he was governor of Arkansas. And I liked that, but a lot of people did not. She got a lot of slack. She still gets a lot of slack, We're going to look historically very differently at Hillary Clinton, but we've had to put up with a lot of disregard for her, let's just say.
Yeah.
But anyway, and when I say this, I'm very aware these are not perfect people. I'm very aware that they're politicians. I'm very aware that obviously the man was impeached by the House because they decided like everything that this administration's doing is okay, but they decided that him having an extramarital affair or whatever, that was a problem. But anyway, I digress.
Can I give you a little Dana Carvey doing Ross Perot?
You can.
That premise for a minute. I find it fascinating that everybody's going bonkers about my height when this country's going down the tubes like crap through a goose.
Dana Carvey. One of a kind.
He did everything. So then the last thing I'll say is Dave is my sister's favorite movie.
Yeah.
So whenever I think of Dave, I think of my sister, and it just kind of tells you a lot about her because she also has that kind of idealism.
I love your sister,
Yes, me too.
but I'm about to upset her.
Oh no.
Yep.
Boy, it's hot.
Hot take.
This is hot. Never got this hot in Brooklyn. It's like Africa hot. Tarzan couldn't take this kind of hot.
What is it?
My hot take is I give American President 3.5 stars. I give Dave 2.5 stars.
You're
I
crazy.
think The American President is such a superior movie than Dave.
Well, they're totally different genres.
Of course they are. I'm just saying, which of these two do I think is a better movie that I'd like to watch over and over and over again? And by the way, Kevin Kline is one of my favorite all-time actors. It's just there's not enough. Like we rewatched it, and I was like hoping for more in it. I don't know. It just didn't.
What about the ending? The girls had no idea. The trick ending.
Yeah.
We had to explain it.
Yeah, that was weird that they couldn't.
No, it wasn't the girls. It was your dad and your sister.
Oh,
That's right. Well, they were surprised by the ending.
Yeah, like what happened? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A teeny bit confusing.
Yeah.
I guess, especially if you're not paying attention.
Right. Like if there's pieces that you miss.
So I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Okay, let's hear.
Which movie's better?
I like them both.
Oh my gosh. What are the odds?
Different genres. I
So
don't.
what? Star Wars and
Okay, this is what I'll say. I can watch Dave more easily
Oh, interesting.
because it's passive. It's like it's humor.
Yeah.
It's it's good vibes.
It's less serious.
It's less serious. He's like he does good things. He makes good choices. The American President is intense.
Yeah, I think the reason not because the movie's better or worse, but I am a bigger fan of dramas. And I think Dave is more of a lighthearted, funny, a teeny bit of seriousness movie, and The American President is more of an intense story that's not really that funny at all.
No, it's not. There's funny moments, but
Yeah.
it's based more in reality. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you something, it's funny because I tend to watch certain things to get geared up. I listen to certain music to get geared up too. But we've had about we don't do them anymore, but we used to have these conferences and we've had about 7 or 8 of them. And before, when I'd be getting ready, like in my hotel room before I'd go speak and everything, I would watch The American President.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like not as like, ooh, I want to be like Andrew Shepard, but just it was one of those movies that I was like, this is going to keep me on my toes. It's giving me the vibe that I want.
Yeah, you put
right?
yourself in that space.
Mhm. Just like, sometimes we just need to match a vibe.
Yeah, I get it. Are you ready for random facts?
I am. Let's go.
It's 8 pounds. Do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
I got a bunch.
Okay, it's me too. So you go first and then I'll see what I got.
Let's see. These are dumb. First lady, blah, blah, blah. I didn't scan through these. Let me go through the American president ones and then maybe, Michael Douglas originally didn't want to play the role because he felt too unpresidential.
I can understand why he felt that way.
Because he had been doing a lot of sex movies like Basic Instinct
and Fatal
Disclosure,
Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. Before the movie started shooting, Michael J. Fox was still keeping his Parkinson's disease a secret.
Correct.
He felt he would lose the role if Rob Reiner, who directed it, found out. During a basic and routine fitness screening, Fox was terrified that clinicians would detect the periodic shaking in his left hand and eventually connected Parkinson's. Fortunately for Michael J. Fox, he took his meds in time to quell the shaking and got the part.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Redford was originally cast in the lead role of the American president.
That would have worked.
But was replaced by Michael Douglas after a falling out with Rob Reiner. I don't know if that's true.
Well, I'm just going off of Bill Simmons here, who does the rewatchables, and most of you know who Bill Simmons is. He is not a Robert Redford fan. I don't know if you've picked up on that, but a lot of his reasons are because of screenwriters he knows and actors he knows. He feels like he doesn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mean I don't like Robert Redford. It just means that there's some things that predate this.
You know what I think of when I hear Robert Redford?
What?
I think of his voice and A River Runs Through It.
Oh, such a good voice.
And it makes me want us to do a podcast on movies about rivers or something to bring in A River Runs Through It, because
Just do A River Runs Through It.
But we usually do like we blend a few. Anyways,
I think that one, what we could do is we could talk about brotherhood. We could talk about family.
now we're talking.
We can talk about addiction in the family. It's so funny because when I think about that movie, A River Runs Through It, I also think about Legends of the Fall, which are 2 movies that Brad Pitt plays that kind of rebellious member of the family that everyone adores.
Yeah.
But is also the problem, has all the issues. So he's like, isn't that so common? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the person who is struggling is the most charismatic in the family.
Maybe we'll do that next week. Who knows? The telephone number President Shepard gives Sydney to call him back, 456-1414, is in fact the number to the White House.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The Oval Office set was originally constructed for Dave.
Oh, cool. Overlap.
And used for the West Wing and the American president.
Wow. So it's on a soundstage?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know how it works. American President is one of the few rare PG-13 movies allowed to keep its rating despite using the word fuck 3 times, all within 15 minutes of each other, but none of them are used in sexual context. I didn't know that.
What about when Sydney spends the night?
Yes, I don't think that they say the F word during that.
Okay, good.
Michael J. Fox. By the way, she's so sexy in that t-shirt.
I know.
Oh my God.
She's such a beautiful woman.
Michael J. Fox based his portrayal on Louis Rothschild on guess who? Any ideas?
Well, let me think when it was. No, I don't know.
George Stephanopoulos.
Oh, of course. Why not?
Yeah.
So, and George Stephanopoulos was an advisor to President Clinton, and he was very young.
Yeah.
And so, and everybody was like, thought he was really attractive and everything. And now we think about him being on Good Morning America, but he has a whole political history.
And lastly, on the American President, Annette Bening was supposed to star with Michael Douglas in Disclosure the previous year, but had to bow out because she got pregnant.
And Demi Moore took her place. You know what? I kind of like that. I think, have you seen Disclosure?
Forget about it. She's so good looking.
Let's going to talk about hot women.
Oh my God.
So Demi Moore works in Disclosure very well. Annette Bening could have as well. Like she's gorgeous.
She could do anything.
But I like her in The American President.
Yeah.
I like who she is. I remember I've never wanted to be in politics per se. I don't think I could do that. But I remember, you remember The Board? Do you know when she's like, okay, I'm going to go, and they're like getting numbers.
Right.
And I remember being like, basically what she does is she just goes out and has lunch with people, talks to them, educates people on what she's doing, why it's important. Do you remember what her bill was?
Environmental something.
Yeah, it was about the environment. Yeah. I'm forgetting what it was. I wanted to test you and I'm forgetting. But anyway, she really wanted that to be, I know he was focusing on the crime bill. She was focusing on her like clean air, fossil fuels, something about that.
Yeah, it's got something to do with that.
Something about environment. But I just thought she had such a cool job.
Yeah,
like
it is fun
and so well respected because she was getting it done.
Yeah,
she had the gift of
it out.
Explaining.
I do have a few on Dave, and then you can fill it in.
Sure.
Then President Clinton approved of the film and gave Ross. I don't know who Ross is.
The screenwriter Gary Ross.
Oh, a framed script which Clinton had autographed, writing that it was a funny, often or accurate lampooning of politics. Clinton also gave him a picture of himself holding a Dave mug. That's nice.
So Clinton liked Dave.
Sigourney Weaver's hair is short because she shaved her head for her previous movie, Alien.
Of course.
And then lastly, the events of President Mitchell's stroke during a sexual encounter with his young female assistant are a reference to the real-life circumstances surrounding the death of Nelson Rockefeller, a former U.S. VP and New York governor. He died in 1979 at the age of 70 during an encounter with his 22-year-old assistant, Megan Marshak.
She really loved him.
She did. She loved the 70-year-old guy, the 22-year-old.
Well, I guess we don't know. That's mean of us, but she's
odds
22.
Are Bill Belichick. Yeah. We're judging.
We are making assumptions.
Yes, we are. So that's what I got. You got anything?
Let's see. So these are like so deep cuts, but I'll say them anyway. In Dave, do you remember when he talks about having a romance with a woman who is half American and half Polynesian?
No.
Well, people thought that was cool because Phoebe Cates, his wife in real life, is half American, half Polynesian.
Okay.
You like Phoebe Cates too.
Forget about it.
Everybody loves Phoebe Cates.
Yes.
And we don't see her that much anymore. But she and Kevin Kline have been married for a very long time. They have children, etc.
It's just a shame. I wish she would come back. She was in I Love You to Death, which is a hilarious movie.
Kevin Kline movie.
That may be where they met.
You might be right.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago, Todd.
Yeah.
That was like the 80s.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were just talking about the set, know, that, and it was also used in the Pelican Brief.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that set was in hot demand. Let's see. That's Dave, the American President. It got 5 Golden Globe nominations, including for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay, and received an Oscar nomination for Best Original Music or Comedy. Score. Let's see. And obviously, we already said this. Aaron Sorkin, who wrote The American President, it became the blueprint for The West Wing. A lot of the plot ideas and character traits and everything were from The American President. And this is interesting. It got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's ranked number 75 in the 100 greatest love stories.
I don't understand Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that one guy from Rewatch. Yeah, like I don't. Why do we
like it? I think it's because it's a little bit like.
Is it like a general population survey thing? Okay.
It's one of those things where if you have a high Rotten Tomatoes rating, you want to tell people, but if you don't, it may not be because your film sucks. It may be because people are like, oh, you didn't end it the way I wanted to. It's kind of like an Amazon review. Like I write books and for a living, and that's part of what I do. And sometimes I read people's reviews, not necessarily always of mine, but people will like write a review of a book and they'll say, my book arrived late and it was wet. And that has nothing to do with the book or
Sweetie,
the writer.
it's your fault. How dare you?
I'm like, how is that? That's got nothing to do with the book. Or they'll be like, I was in a bad mood when I read this book, so I'm only going to give it 2.5 stars. I'm like, okay, thanks. Thanks for that help.
I don't know if this is true, but highest ranked, no, that can't be right. Highest ranked Rotten Tomatoes movie, Minority Report. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Why not?
I don't know. It says 89%. Isn't there movies that are like 99%?
Well, I just read to you that it had a 90, it said it holds a 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think I'm giving you bad information. So.
Did you want to do any lists? Like I have 2 lists. Like Todd and I are getting into lists.
Only list I have is favorite movies taking place in Washington, D.C.
Okay, I have favorite movie speeches.
Oh, that's good. I didn't do that one. So let me do my favorite Washington, D.C. movies. I'm just going to do my top 3 outside of these 2. So these 2 are in my top
Okay,
3.
will you go in normal order though? Lately you've been doing like, I'm going to do number 1 first.
My third favorite. So
start from 5, even
okay,
though it includes.
let's go 5.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 5 is Dave.
Okay, like it.
Number 4 is a really underrated movie, in my judgment, called No Way Out.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that movie.
Such a good movie. My third favorite is also a Kevin Costner movie. You have any guesses?
Let's see. If it's Kevin Costner, it's not No Way Out. It is.
And technically, it's more in Louisiana than DC. JFK.
Oh, okay.
It's really not a DC movie. They have certain parts of it where he's talking to Donald Sutherland in DC, but
it's a little iffy, but
it's a little iffy. Number 2 is The American President.
Sure.
And number 1 is Wedding Crashers.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Thank you.
I should have put Wedding Crashers on my list.
How dare you?
So mine, starting with number 5. Again, everybody, these are our favorite movies based in DC. Number 5 is Primary Colors, which was based on a book written by Anonymous. We figured out
that's a good
later.
One. Yep.
But it was totally based on the Clintons, but he changed their names. And then they made a movie about it, and it had John Travolta and Emma Thompson. Love that movie. Haven't seen it in a long time, but was so excited when it was coming out, like obsessed. Number 4, All the President's Men, which is, speaking of Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman, based on, the Watergate scandal. And they played the guys from The Post who are named, God, help me. The guys who they broke the story on Nixon.
Oh, that's Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman.
I said that, but you think of their names because we know them.
Okay.
We're just having a brain problem. Number 3,
Woodward
and Bernstein.
There you go.
Yeah. Brain problem means we're 53 or 54. How old am I?
I think you're 54
Yeah.
and I think I'm 53.
I take lots of vitamins to keep my brain sharp. You know what else I do to keep my brain sharp? This show, and I write, and I had to stop playing the drums for a little bit because my leg hurts. I'm just sharing with everybody. Number 3, American President. Did I already say that? Number 2, The Pelican Brief.
Oh, wow.
I love The Pelican Brief.
Do you?
Yes, I watch it the way
Julia Roberts and Denzel.
Yeah. And I watch it a lot, meaning like background, like I'll be folding clothes or something. 2 John Grisham movies that I watch a lot are The Firm, which has a lot of funny parts in it to me, which it's not supposed to be, and The Pelican Brief. So that's number 2. And then number 1 is Dave.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Yeah.
You really do love Dave.
I do.
That's so interesting. Can I just throw a few different lines from Wedding Crashers?
Sure.
You hungry? Hey, Ma! We get some meatloaf!
Hold on. Let me give you.
Oh, yes.
Erroneous.
Yes. Erroneous on both counts.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Oh, my God. So good.
It's our favorite line from that movie. You
Yeah.
and it's in the first 2 minutes.
Yes.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. But I like saying erroneous to people who get it.
Erroneous.
Erroneous.
Okay. So we did the list. Are we ready to go to WTF?
Yes.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
The only WTF I have is for Dave.
Okay, thank you. We just need to spend all of our time on this.
The entire movie
The entire movie doesn't make sense.
is WTF.
How is this other human getting away with this?
Yeah. Okay. If it's so hard to step in the shoes of any human being.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that it's even harder to step in the shoes of the president.
Right.
Because the president knows a lot of people. The president has a lot of different personality styles. Like,
he's face to face with so many different people.
like, think about how hard it is to just know everything from decades of experience. This would never, ever work at all.
No. And again, it's one thing to be a doppelganger. It's like, wow, this person looks like you, which is the premise, right? But it's another thing to be able, and again, they try and set you up like he knows how to do his mannerisms. Remember when he's practicing his speech?
Yeah.
And they're like, this is what you need to do. And he's like, don't worry, I know how to do Bill Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know, that's the president. And he does, but the stuff with his wife, and the stuff with like, and they don't have kids, so that helps. That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
But that is staff, like the Laura Linney character who was having an affair with him, that she wouldn't catch on.
Right.
Like that she'd just be like, he's back and he doesn't talk to me anymore. Like so weird. And you know, there's a confusing thing to me with, there's a scene where Sigourney Weaver is really mad at him. So she comes in and he's in the shower and she says, turn around, I'm talking to you. So she obviously sees him naked and she has a moment where she kind of looks away, like what's going on. And then when she figures out he's not her husband, he said, when did you figure it out? And she said, in the limo, you looked at my legs.
Yeah.
And Bill hasn't looked at my legs forever. And he said, I thought it was the shower. And she's like, no.
Which happened?
How is it not the shower?
Which happened first, the limo or the shower?
Legs.
Not the legs. So so the legs happened first.
Yeah.
So that
maybe he's saying
precludes
that's when I figured it out.
that precludes her from, if she already knew it when he looked at her legs, and if the shower scenes happened after that,
But
then she didn't
would
have.
she go in and yell at him in the shower if she knew that's not
Maybe
really
she wanted
him?
to see what his package looked like.
Your mind is in an interesting place
Her
today.
eyes go down there.
I know. Well,
It's a whole part. That's a whole point of that scene.
I get it, but why is she yelling at someone she knows is not her husband?
Oh, that's a good question. That is
You see what I mean?
That is if in fact the
If in fact
limo
she knew.
was first.
Yeah.
And you're pretty sure the limo is first?
So
Interesting.
in either way, it sucks because if he saw her legs first, if he looked at her legs first and then she knew,
Yeah.
then the whole shower scene doesn't make sense. And if she saw him in the shower and still didn't know,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So what Dave requires is a lot of suspension of belief.
Yes.
You've got to just
Quite a bit.
run with it. So that's a big thing.
So yeah, my WTF is the whole premise of the movie, Dave.
Well, and I'll add to that, once Sigourney Weaver finds out that he is indeed not her husband.
I'm scanning through the movie. The limo is definitely before.
Right.
the
It's
show.
early, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he tells her, this is what's going on. And he takes her downstairs, way downstairs in the White House, shows her that her husband, Bill Mitchell, is actually on life support because he had a stroke. And they that night are like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Like her husband. And again, she says, I can't keep this a secret.
Right.
But then I think he says to her, or she says to him, what would you do if you could be president? What would you do? And he's like, so many things. And then she goes along with it. And it's her husband. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But again, suspension of belief. Obviously, another WTF is the best scene of the movie, but the most hard to believe. The cabinet, balancing the budget scene, that he could just be like, let's get rid of that $60 million.
Instead of giving them money for something they haven't finished, we could hold back that cash, stick it in some interest-bearing savings account. Yes? Great. Like I was saying, if we took that cash and stuck it in even an ordinary savings account, we'd be making $23 million a month in interest.
Well, technically that's true, but I suppose it's true.
Okay. So that's 23 million.
Right. And
It's like doing it on the back of an envelope,
Right.
basically.
It's
I love it though. I don't like, remember, this is the WTF. This is not like, oh, what's bad about the movie? It's why we love the movie.
yeah, it's fun to watch him go write his things on the back of the envelope and balance the budget.
Right. And the last part of Dave that's WTF, and in a good way, is all the cameos.
Yes.
There's so many cameos, including the most WTF cameo is Oliver Stone talking about that he thinks that Bill Mitchell, it's not really Bill Mitchell, that someone has replaced him, and he's 100% right.
Yeah.
So because Oliver Stone was so into conspiracy theories back then, having come back from the Vietnam War and being disillusioned and such, and he was doing Platoon and all these movies, he was kind of the guy. So I thought that was funny. And then one more WTF about Dave. At the very end, when Sigourney Weaver comes to his office where he's running for councilman or whatever, and that they could really date.
Yeah.
They can't.
No.
She's like, what's going on?
They could date, sweetie. Love has no boundaries.
I mean, it was just, I love it. And I love that she shows up in her little baseball hat and it's so cute. But again, there's a lot of WTF. So suspension of belief. So the American president, do you have any for that?
I don't. Before we move on. So in 1993, our deficit, and I don't think it includes military spending, was $255 billion.
Wow.
And what it is today is 1.6 trillion.
Well, and when Clinton left office, the deficit was gone.
Yeah.
So when Clinton left office, the budget was balanced.
He balanced it.
So I hate to get on a political rant,
Go ahead.
but if we look back in the last however many years when there's been a Democrat in office, we've gotten closer to balancing the budget. Just saying. Okay.
One last thing, and I hope my Google helps me with this, but the idea of $1 trillion is almost an inconceivable number. Okay?
Yes, it is.
And I just said this in Michigan. Somehow we were talking about the deficit or whatever. So guess how much time elapses for 1 million seconds?
Okay,
So take
1
your
million
best
seconds.
guess, and doesn't matter if you're right.
I don't know.
11 days.
Okay.
1 million seconds is 11 days.
Okay. So 1 trillion seconds?
Now we're going to a billion.
Oh, billion.
1 billion seconds. So think of this in terms of dollars.
Okay.
And the relationship between 1 million, billion, and trillion. 1 billion seconds, take a guess. If 1 million is 11 days, how many is 1 billion seconds?
I don't know. 20. I don't know.
31 years.
I was going to say 20 years.
So manageable, 11 days, 31 years, 1 trillion seconds.
Trillion
'Cause
seconds.
this is exponential stuff.
So that was 31 years. So I will say 200 years.
31,710 years.
Holy crap.
So just think about that. Like $1 trillion is so much money. And whenever I think about it, I feel sad for my kids and my grandkids because us Gen Xers and boomers effed this whole thing up. We can figure it out, but we certainly didn't make it easy on them. That's all I have to say.
We haven't had a Gen X president.
No, we haven't.
So
But
are we really to blame?
There's a lot of Gen Xers in positions of power.
I understand.
There's a
And
lot
that
of
is true. And a lot of them are governors and mayors and everything. But for the most part, Gen X hasn't had its time to lead. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I say skip over our generation.
Let's get Dave in.
Just go to the millennials.
Get Kevin Kline.
Maybe even the Gen Zers, or get who's below the Gen Zers?
Gen Alpha.
The Alphas. Let's get like some 15-year-old kids in there.
Hey, you know what? Some young people are running for office and they do a phenomenal job.
Good.
Like there are 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and they're better than the boomers.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I love boomers. My parents were boomers. My aunt's boomer. Like I love the boomers, but not the boomers who are in charge.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so the American president, let's talk about the crime bill and the environment bill.
Oh yeah.
They're both landmark bills. Like again, it's the way that Sorkin wrote it. Having one instead of the other. Like isn't there a bunch of stuff packed into one bill? It's never about one thing.
Right.
You pack a bunch of stuff. I remember John McCain would always call it pork.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
But no, is that what they called it?
Something like that.
And I'd always be like, what is that?
Yeah.
But it was just packing
It's the
stuff
other
into a
stuff.
bill.
Yeah.
Let's see. The fact that at the end of The American President when, Michael Douglas's president figures out, what's his name again? Shepard. Andrew Shepard figures
Sweet.
out.
Don't you see it in my YouTube thing? Look at my name in the Andrew Shepard.
Todd and I on our YouTube thing. It's will they be able to see this?
Only if they're watching on YouTube.
For our names, Todd put Andrew Shepard and I put Kathy wants Dave to be pres.
I would love for Dave to be the president.
Yes. So the speech he gives at the end is actually just kind of a love speech to Annette Bening.
Yeah.
Sydney Wade. And so, that would be really interesting. I think that's it. There's not as much WTF in The American President.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
All right, let's go. A scene?
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, Dad, you must have jumped this thing about 50 yards.
It's nothing to be proud of, Rusty. 50 yards.
I don't think I'm going to surprise anybody with my favorite scene.
Okay.
Because I'm definitely going to American President, and I'm certainly not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play this part of it.
Ever taken in the fight to reverse the effects of global warming. The other piece of legislation is the crime bill. As of today, it no longer exists. I'm throwing it out. I'm throwing it out and writing a law that makes sense.
Make it make sense.
You cannot address crime prevention without getting rid of assault weapons and handguns. I consider them a threat to national security, and I will go door to door if I have to, but I'm going to convince Americans that I'm right, and I'm going to get the guns.
Oof.
We've got serious problems, and we need serious people. And if you want to talk about character, Bob, you better come at me with more than a burning flag and a membership card. If you want to talk about character and American values, fine. Just tell me where and when, and I'll show up. This is a time for serious people, Bob, and your 15 minutes are up. My name is Andrew Shepard, and I am the president.
Just got goosebumps.
He's sounding like Gavin Newsom.
So I think that's everybody's favorite scene in the movie. I could be wrong. Do you want me to go to any spot?
No, my favorite scene in The American President is the montage. The montage. The montage. Montage. How do you say it?
The montage.
Montage. It doesn't matter. Some of my people in my life make fun of the way I say things. JC says I say milk weird and eggs. She's like the way I say eggs. And you say I say hamburger weird.
Hamburger. You like to stress the burger more. I don't even know which montage.
So the montage when they're kind of like falling in love and they're like showing the background of what's going on in politics and they're showing them together. And remember his daughter's playing her trombone and they're like clapping and then they're going on a date. And so it's kind of like a montage of them falling in love and being on the phone and everything like that. It's kind of a cheesy, typical 80s, 90s montage.
Right.
I like that. And then it's very similar. I guess I'm a montage gal because I also like the learning to be president montage in Dave.
Yeah.
Like where he does I caught a fish this big.
Yeah. Everybody does that part.
And he's just learning all the mannerisms and has funny moments and, all that kind of stuff. So it helps us get invested. So those are my favorite scenes.
All right. I want to find this big thing, but I can't find it.
The fish this big?
Fish. Yeah, it's kind of a funny scene. Okay. Are we ready for the next category?
Sure.
Rolling in the deep.
Go deep about Dave.
Why don't you start?
Did you have something?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to keep these simple because I can go on and I do not stay on target.
Yeah.
As you would say. So
stay on target.
So I'm trying to bullet point my ideas.
I love bullet points.
I know. So let's just talk about authenticity, right? A big part of Dave Gen X lessons is about be genuine, be yourself. And if you're yourself, being decent and honest and empathetic, you're going to win, right? You're going to win. If you're Luke Skywalker, you're going to win. For Gen X, it's like coming out of the Reagan Bush politics into, the idea of our favorite bands selling out, and how sad we all are. And then we're like, it's our fantasy about authenticity and being real and not being cynical anymore and everything. So I think that's a big part of being Gen X. Some people in Gen X are still very cynical, and we still have cynicism in us. We speak cynicism, but this was a time of like shifting that a little bit. But at the same time, we developed, or maybe it trickled down to us, a skepticism in institutions. The idea that we would even buy that, conspiracies were kind of becoming a thing, if they weren't already, that we would buy that a man could actually come in and be a doppelganger and, become the president of the United States. I was actually just reading a book about 90s women, like 90s famous women. And one story about Avril Lavigne is that she, and again, that's music, I know, and not politics, but there's this whole Reddit belief, Reddit meaning, that app, that Avril Lavigne, when she had Lyme disease and was like not around a lot, that she actually died. Oh, wow. And that this woman named Melissa took her place and is now living as Avril Lavigne. And that's why Avril Lavigne's so different and, has different music. Instead of believing Avril Lavigne actually grew up and started singing different kinds of songs, there's a belief that Melissa is, and that's like very...
Quite the theory, geez.
I know, it is. And it's a little, it's definitely Gen X. I mean, Avril Lavigne is a little more millennial as far as people who liked her, but it's that kind of belief that we think that those things happen.
Right.
And, the last part of Dave that I think is important is that ordinary people matter. I think that, and not everyone in Gen X believes this. There's a lot of people who are just, this is kind of depending on your political affiliation a little bit, but that, an everyday person can come in and make a big change.
Sure.
Right? It's kind of our optimistic belief that ordinary people can make a difference. And they can, that's true. But there's also a lot of obstacles to that.
Sure.
And then the American president, that's all about balancing idealism with compromise, right? I like the idea of being idealistic. Like JC and I just went out to eat a few days ago, and we were talking about politics. And because of her age, she's 22, she's still very much like, especially around things around the war, very much like, this is right, this is wrong. And I love
black and white thinking.
Yes, even though she is an expansive thinker in the big picture, I think she doesn't get stuck on things, but there's still this feeling of, we all know this is wrong, so let's just not do it. And when you get older, you just understand all the history and why things are the way they are, and how you can't just make a sudden shift and everybody globally is going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like these are things my dad tried to explain to me that I was like, whatever. And I now understand. It hasn't really shifted my political viewpoint very much. I just have a better understanding of how things go down. Like just that words matter. I think something that, that's important to me. My love language is words. I listen to what people say. I take them at their word. And I don't mean about promises. I mean, the words people use mean a lot to me. Like, how are you saying this? And I like the written word. And I think that that's a big part of the American president, especially because Aaron Sorkin wrote it. Like, what kind of speeches are you going to give? What are you going to say? What are you going to stand up for? What do you mean? You know what I mean? Instead of being cryptic, like politics is so cryptic. Like politics is all about having a soundbite that you say. No matter what someone says to you, you switch it and you say a soundbite. It's why it's so grating to watch any kind of interview of a politician, because they're never going to say anything off the cuff.
I know. I miss Tim Russert.
Me too. Oh my God, Tim Russert.
Tim Russert got me in. He got me interested. So if you're young and you're like, who the hell is Tim Russert? I'm sure he did a lot of things. I met him as the moderator of Meet the Press on NBC on Sunday mornings. And he lovingly just held politicians' feet to the fire and really did not let them off the hook, but in a very kind way.
He was a good man.
He's a good man.
And he was smart.
Yeah.
And he knew his stuff. So you're not going to, and I don't think he cared as much about, I mean, of course he probably cared about how he was perceived, but you didn't feel like he was social climbing.
Yeah.
Are you playing something, or can
I was
keep
gonna
going?
play just a little Tim Russer because I just want to hear his voice a
Okay.
little bit. Let's hear Tim.
More challenging job I ever dreamt of. I signed a 12-year contract with NBC, which is unheard of. People say, you're in television, you should play the market. You can
I
go to
just
prime
miss
time.
his voice.
He was so calm.
He was a good man. I think he was a Buffalo Bills fan for some reason. I don't know why I know that. So
He died abruptly.
yeah, he
It
died
was
all of a sudden. And
shock.
he was young. He was probably like in his 50s.
I know, and we're in our 50s.
I
Yikes.
know.
So, for Gen X, for us, the MTV generation, we grew up on irony and all these sound bites and everything. It's just a reminder that words matter, and that and Aaron Sorkin loved to have a good speech written. You know what I mean? He loved
He
it.
was very good at it.
The things I think about, I didn't include, it's because we did movies. I was gonna say I didn't include this speech, but if anybody has seen The Newsroom, which he wrote, there's this speech that Jeff Flap, what's his Jeff Daniels gives about America. And I remember listening to it because it was before all of this Trump era stuff. It was like, it's a decade and more ago, where someone stands up and asks him, like, why are we the greatest country in America, or something like that? And he gives all these stats that demonstrate we're not. And I remember being like, whoa, like I had never heard that before. Like, obviously part of me knew that. But the way that he shares it so clearly, and Sorkin has a thing about speed. You have to like be really quick, like you don't slow down.
Yeah.
He makes people do many, many takes, as we've talked about with The Social Network. It was directed by Fincher, but Aaron Sorkin wrote it. And there's like all these things about that opening scene of Jesse Eisenberg and Rooney Mara. They filmed it like 92 times, just like keep going faster. Do you have the Newsroom thing?
I do.
Okay, play it.
It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. All right. And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is, there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality.
And on and on.
On and on.
I don't know why there's an echo. That's not a good audio clip, but good enough. So.
Yeah. So I remember hearing that and being like, oh my God. And it's like just things, it's the truth.
Was that a good show? I never watched it.
I didn't either.
Why didn't
I
we
just
watch
know
it?
that clip. I don't know.
From 2014. I don't know.
Yeah, 2 years before things really changed.
Are we ready for parental guidance?
Sure.
Gonna be like you. And the cats and the field.
So there's not much parenting going on in this movie. It just didn't. But
Yeah, there's no kids.
I
really.
just want to. Oh, sweetie, bite your tongue. Don't forget about our friend.
Oh, the sweetie pie with her trombone.
Sounds good.
It's progressive.
I'll say.
Dad, what's wrong with Sydney? Did you guys have a fight or something?
What do you mean?
I mean, she seemed pretty mad.
You saw her?
Yeah, she's here.
Where?
In your room. Dad, why is she mad?
Don't worry about it, honey.
Were you a dork?
Practice your music.
If you were a dork, you should say you're sorry. Girls like that.
Remember
Were you a
dork?
dork?
Dork used to be such a heavily
know.
used word. What
Such a
happened?
dork.
Be a dork. I'm going to use that today.
You know what? There's this great thing on TikTok where this guy, I think a lot of people do this because everyone copies from each other. They'll put up 4 squares and it'll be like, Gen Alpha, Gen millennials, whatever they are, Gen Y, and then Gen X and, boomers or whatever. And they'll put up what the different words that we have that really mean the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the word we used was awesome. And like there were, like they say bro,
Yeah.
right? And or bruh or, little bro. And I still say dude
Yeah.
to people all the time. I'm like, dude.
Kids say dude?
No,
At
that's
all?
my point is like, that's a Gen X word. Awesome's a Gen X word. These are things that we say that we still include in our vocabulary, and it means the same thing as bro, because it's just us saying, come on, like, we're saying, hey, dude, but we're also just saying like, dude, like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I love those little clips that people do. I wish maybe you could find one. Are you looking for it?
No, I'm just asking ChatGPT to give me the equivalents to the word dork, but it's not really coming up with anything good.
Did that also, like, if you're a dork, I know what it means. It's like you're being a jerk, but is there any sexual connotation
Yeah, I think
to
it
dork?
means a penis.
That's what I thought too, which makes it interesting that
there's a word called simp. It's a Gen Z word.
Yeah.
Simp, not exactly dork, but sometimes used in some playful, endearing, ribbing way.
simp, like when I hear simp, I think like you are like a beta. You're like I don't know. It's definitely not positive.
Anything else on parenting?
Just that again, bullets really quick. Our generation, real is better than perfect. Both characters, the Dave and Andrew Shepherd, not perfect people, but we appreciate that. We appreciate their flaws. That we should question authority, but we should stay engaged. To be skeptical of politics, but to not walk away. These are things we're teaching our children, is what I'm saying. And that this is a big one that people debate a lot. The personal is political. There's nothing that's not political. Whenever anyone's like, I can't believe you're politicizing this, or you're being political here, what isn't political? Because any rights, anything that we're concerned about in the country, anything that's going on with our family, anything that we don't have access to, not making enough money, not getting a job, worrying about our communities, a school board, it's all political. And so I don't like that debate. And I try to, just talk about that. All of our private choices are political. I'm being told I can't do things as a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm a woman. And so raising our children with an awareness of fairness and gender and justice at home, because that's how they take it into the world. So that's all I got.
I have a generational map.
Okay, let's hear it.
Slang.
Okay.
So the idea is cool. What we used was rad or wicked.
We did not.
Sweetie.
We said cool.
We said rad sometimes.
I never said rad, but go on.
Millennials say on fleek, and
Yeah.
Gen Z say fire, lit, or drip.
Definitely.
Lame, to the idea of lame, we used bogus or dweeb.
I feel like this is Gen X, like, not right.
Are you telling me you never use the word bogus?
I said bogus, but I also said lame. That's so lame.
I know, but sweetie, lame is the idea on this chart.
I thought you meant that was like a different generation.
No,
like
no, lame. The idea is lame.
Okay,
and I'm
lame.
giving you the 3 words.
Got it.
So the idea is lame.
Lame.
Gen X says bogus or dweeb.
We did say bogus.
Millennials say fail or lame.
Okay.
Whatever. And then Gen Z says cringe or NPC.
Okay.
What's NPC?
I don't know.
Friend. So the idea is friend. We would say homeboy or homegirl.
Did not.
Millennials.
Like this.
As my homeboy.
You did not
Sweetie,
say
that's my homeboy.
I have never heard you say that.
Millennials say BFF.
Yeah.
And Gen Z says fam.
Yeah. Fam or gang.
The next one is to agree. We would say totally.
Right. I
You
say
with that?
totally all the time.
Millennials said cool beans. And then Gen Z says bet or no cap.
Correct. I would say I say more now totes.
Totes my goats.
Yeah, I say totally, but if I'm texting and someone's like, "Oh my God, can you believe this?" I'm like, totes.
All right, I'm gonna quiz you now. What would so
boy, say oh boy.
Oh, I say homeboy all the time. The idea of attractive, we said I'm not even gonna quiz you.
We say hot.
Actually, we said fox.
Oh my God, no.
Sweetie, she's a fox.
I said fox when I was like in elementary school.
Yeah, and you're Gen X.
Okay, we did say fox.
They say hot or sexy, the millennials.
Okay.
And Gen Z say snack or Riz.
Correct.
What's snack?
Like they'll say like, "Oh my gosh, he's a total snack."
To show off, they say we would strut.
Sure.
Millennials say bling.
Okay.
And Gen Z says flex or drip.
Sure. Do you remember the song "Strut" by Sheena Easton?
I do. I think I remember that video.
I don't remember the video, but I remember the song.
Wasn't that part of a
it
commercial too?
No, I don't think so.
Gotta play a little bit of that.
Did I say Sheila Easton or Sheena Easton?
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Sheila E is one person. Sheena Easton. I guess we were using strut.
See, sweetie?
I didn't say it. I didn't say homeboy, and I
Sweetie.
didn't say dweeb.
So you didn't say homeboy, you said homegirl.
And I
All
never,
your
I didn't
BFFs.
say, I didn't say rad. I said cool.
Sweetie, you're
I
too
did say-
cool to use rad.
I did say bogus,
Yeah.
but that's so bogus. But I say dude a lot.
Yeah.
And okay, are there any more in there?
No, that's all.
That's it?
Well, I mean, we went through it. I'm kind of.
You're done with it?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so now we're doing cringe or classic.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody.
No.
What do you got? I kind of neither of these two. They're both classics.
They're classics.
No doubt about it.
Period.
Did you do best quote or no?
I do. I have best quote for both.
All right, let me.
May the force be with you.
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 All right.
Okay, so do you have best quotes?
You go first.
Okay, so for Dave, my favorite quote that I like to get to, it's like in that scene that we're talking about, like balancing the budget, with the first guy, you know, who he's like trying to get him to cut back on the marketing budget for cars. And he says, do you want to tell the American people they can feel good about a car they already have?
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's like, no, I guess I don't. It's just a good like wake up call. Like, why are we spending all this money on making sure people feel good about the car they've already bought?
Right.
Okay. And then my one from the American president, which I'm sure is the one you have as well. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready. Am I
Okay.
supposed to have something queued up?
You don't have to.
Okay.
But it's from Lewis Rothschild, played by
Okay.
Michael J. Fox. And it's a pretty famous Sorkin, soliloquy. You ready?
Sure, go ahead.
People want leadership, Mr. President, and in the absence of genuine leadership, they'll listen to anyone who steps up to the microphone. They want leadership. They're so thirsty for it, they'll crawl through the desert toward a mirage. And when they discover there's no water, they'll drink the sand. I mean, is that not true?
That is.
We got a serious mirage going on right now, and people are drinking sand. It's like a very interesting, people just want to follow. They want someone. And the thing is they either follow because they're afraid or they follow because they feel hopeful. And both of them are strong. I feel like we just talked about hope and fear. Maybe I wrote about it this week on my Substack. I can't remember. But they both are a very powerful influence. And some people use fear and really twist it and make people think if they don't follow this person that they're in trouble, when really it's the other way around.
I think I have it coming up. I'm not sure.
4 million people don't give a damn about your life. They give a damn about their own.
All right, that's enough.
Mr. President, you raised a daughter almost entirely on your own. And she's terrific. So what does it say to you that in the past 7 weeks, 59% of this country has begun to question your family values?
The president doesn't answer to you, Lewis.
Oh, yes, he does, AJ. I'm a citizen. This is my president. And in this country, it is not only permissible to question our leaders, it's our responsibility. But you already know that, don't you, Mr. President? Because you have a deeper love of this country than any man I've ever known. And I want to know what it says to you that in the past 7 weeks, 59% of Americans have begun to question your patriotism.
Look, if people want to listen to
They don't have a choice. Bob Rumson is the only one doing the talking. People want leadership, Mr. President. In the absence of genuine leadership, they'll listen to anyone who steps up to the microphone. They want leadership. They're so thirsty for it, they'll crawl through the desert toward a mirage, and when they discover there's no water, they'll drink the sand.
Lewis, we have had presidents who are beloved.
Rock solid.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the part that makes it difficult, like that conversation I was having with JC. Like, this is a movie, I know, but it's reflecting something real. Here he is a good president. He's doing his best. He's a genuine person. He's raising a daughter on his own, and he's just trying to go out on dates, right? He's trying to date a woman who's a very upstanding, lovely human being. And because of the way it's getting like talked about in the press, 59% of people don't think he has good family values anymore. It's a game of trying to figure out how to be genuine within a system that can be duped into thinking you're something else.
Your quote is definitely better than mine, but this is when they started asking him about Sydney Ellen Wade after they just dropped a bomb on an embassy or something like that.
Okay.
Sir, would you care to comment on the status of your relationship?
We don't have a relationship. We just had dinner. Thank you.
Did you tell us if she spent the night at the White House or?
Folks, a lot of people were killed last night. Let's try to keep our eye on the ball, okay? Thank you.
Boom.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for the next category?
Yep. Music game.
Oh, music game.
That song.
The one that makes me go
all night long. I'm a little worried that I might not win this week's music game.
I want to win. I think I'll win.
Mine is a little silly.
Okay.
And I'm pulling it up right now. I think most Gen Xers.
You're coming up with it or you're pulling it up?
No, I already have it.
Oh, you
I
have
need
it.
to pull it up.
Okay.
Most Gen Xers are familiar with this.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait.
All right.
Sitting
That's a good one.
It's kind of silly. It's
I
not
love
necessarily the
soundtrack.
best song, but certainly appropriate for Dave and the American president.
I hope and pray that I will, but today I am still just a bill.
What do you got?
I chose a song called Peace Train, but not by Cat Stevens, by 10,000 Maniacs.
Oh, okay.
Because I started listening to this song around this time in the early 90s. Maybe it was more like 91, 92, but it was in this time. And I love 10,000 Maniacs. And this is a great song that talks about wanting to have a country that is run by someone like Andrew Shepherd or Dave.
Country, come take me home again. Peace train sounding louder, long, long, peace train.
I love anything that Natalie Merchant does. Forget about it.
Isn't that great version of that song?
So I'm gonna tip my hat to you, sweetie. I think you beat me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I loved yours too.
Really frustrating.
But it is a really good song. So I don't think yours is a song.
Well,
it is.
Sweetie, bite your tongue.
It is. It's Schoolhouse Rock, but it's not. We don't usually use that in the music game.
Yeah.
We're usually going for a song.
All right.
I'm nervous.
Are you?
Yeah.
Don't be nervous,
Okay.
sweetie. No reason to be nervous.
All right.
Let me see if I can find it. I think I put it in the Dave document. What does Dave have before being what job does Dave have before being recruited to impersonate the president?
He worked at a temp agency, which I did as well. I could relate to Dave. That was my first job.
Like Dave.
I know.
What kind of activity do Dave and Ellen do together that rekindles their connection?
What kind of work do they do together?
What activity do they do?
They go get ice cream? They go for a drive?
Nope, they're doing kind of a official thing where there's reporters. And
Oh, with the kids? They're
Yes.
doing the homeless shelter?
Very good. Who directed Dave?
Dave was directed by Ivan Reitman.
Very good. Which famous reporter appears as a White House reporter in Dave?
Helen. Helen, what's her name?
Maybe there's many, but my answer here is Bob Woodward. Is he in the movie?
Yeah, but also Helen, the woman who was in the press corps for the longest amount of time, Helen something, she's in it too.
Okay.
And they he says hello to her and everything.
nice.
So I think,
How does Bob Alexander get exposed at the end of the movie?
sweetie, you know what you did not play?
What?
It's beginning to
I know. I gotta play that.
Okay. Say that again now.
How does Bob Alexander get exposed at the end of the movie?
Let's see. So Dave gives a speech and talks about how Bob Alexander signed off on all the illegal stuff that they did together.
The savings and loans scandal,
Yeah.
sweetie.
That they tried to blame on the vice president, who was Gandhi.
Yes. I mean, not literally. Gandhi was not.
No, but
in
the
this
guy who
movie.
played Gandhi,
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Mhm.
Which is kind of like, what the hell is he doing? He's like, didn't he get an Academy Award?
I don't think he had done Gandhi yet.
Oh, of course he did. I
He did?
saw Gandhi when I was a little kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I fell asleep.
Well, maybe it's just a good, what a perfect person to play the noble,
Right.
Yeah. Role, because the vice president's a good man. Remember, he's like, is he a good man? He's a very good man.
In the closing moments of Dave, what new job does he take after leaving the White House?
Well, he doesn't have a job, but he's running for like a local councilman.
City Council. Very good. Which actress plays the White House tour guide in Dave?
We're walking, we're stopping. It's Bonnie Hunt.
Very good. From Chicago.
Yeah.
What policy does we're going over to the American president now.
Okay.
What policy does Sydney push that causes political controversy?
Environmental bill.
Yeah, emissions bill. What song is playing when Shepard dances with Sydney at the state dinner?
I don't remember.
It's called I Have Dreamed from The King and I.
Oh, I didn't know.
What instrument does Lucy play?
Trombone.
What flowers does Andrew Shepard famously order for Sydney?
Doesn't he order her like a Georgia something? Like
this might
something
be
from her
wrong.
home state?
It says roses, but I feel like it's a dogwood or something. I feel like dogwood is somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think he tried to do some. I don't remember.
Yeah. What happens to Shepard's approval rating after his romance with Sydney? So how low does his approval rating go?
It goes low. Well,
I need something a little more specific.
Lewis was just saying it dropped by 59% or something. I don't remember.
It drops into the 30s.
Wow, that's low. Come on. That's ridiculous.
That's why it's a good movie.
Okay.
How old is Lucy?
12?
Very good. Sydney works for which organization?
She's a lobbyist for the environmental people. I don't know.
Global Defense Council,
Oh,
sweetie.
that's really specific.
I know.
Global Defense, GDC.
Very good.
Yeah, well, they call it that through the movie. I didn't. Anyway, keep going. Very good. Did I do the acronym?
American president was nominated for how many Golden Globes?
5.
Oh, Jesus. How'd you know that?
Because it was in my set the scene.
What does Shepard say when criticized for ordering flowers for Sydney?
I don't know.
He says it's just flowers, Bob, and roses at that.
Oh, so he did get her roses.
Yeah. What famous actress was considered for Sydney before Annette Bening? I'll give you a hint. Bill Simmons really likes her.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Very good. That's a dumb one. This one you're not going to get.
Okay.
What foreign leader attends the opening state dinner?
The French guy.
What's his name?
French guy.
René Jean Labou.
Because Annette Bening or Sydney can speak French. So she
sure
talks to
can.
him.
She crushes it.
She's like, he's getting bored.
Yes. That's all I got. Any parting thoughts?
No, but this was fun. Todd and I kind of came up with this one out of the blue. Like this wasn't on our original list and I really liked it. So if there's something, speaking of, if you're listening to this point, then you must like this show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a movie or an idea, just email us, Zen Pop Parenting. You can go to the website or you can go to Kathy at zenpopparenting.com or Todd at zenpopparenting.com and tell us what you want us to talk about.
And Team Zen, Restoring Our Girls, and
Already said it all.
I know, sweetie, but sometimes you have to tell people and then you have to remind them
Reminder.
because people aren't remembering what we said.
I know.
An hour and 19 minutes.
I just don't like to sell again.
I do.
I don't like marketing. Let's just
Buy a book, sign up for her Substack, and join Team Zen.
Zen.
And we're going to close out with some more of Sweetie's Peace Train.
Let everyone jump upon the peace train. This is the peace train. Get your bags together.